Welcome to the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, September 25th. We will continue to have impacts from gusty winds across the Great Basin over the next few days as a cold front drops down from the north. Today we will see gusty winds gusting between 30 and 40 miles per hour or higher in some areas over southern Idaho into northern Utah. However, relative humidity will be increasing and remain above 20 or 30% as the cold front drops south, bringing cooler temperatures and some moisture. Further south, we will have these gusty winds coupled with lower relative humidity and a little bit higher fire potential across Utah. We'll also have some showers move in, probably fairly light today in the north, but will be increasing tonight into Saturday with the best chances of wetting rains being in the central Idaho mountains overnight tonight and into Saturday. We could have rainfall amounts near or above 1/4 of an inch in some spots. It may be spotty in other areas, especially as you move further south and east. We'll continue to have gusty winds and higher humidity over northern Utah and Idaho on Saturday, with the drier conditions coupled with the gusty winds in the far south. Then on Sunday, as the cold front moves through, we will see that those winds shift in all areas to the northwest and still remain breezy, but again, higher humidity in the north and drier down across Utah. Looking at our near-surface smoke forecast, as that cold front pushes in from the north, we will see that smoke likely clear out of Idaho and maybe be a little bit more thin up there. However, we could see some denser smoke off the California fires over parts of central and southern Nevada. Similar conditions in our 6,000-foot smoke forecast. Over the last 24 hours, we only saw a few light showers up north across the central Idaho mountains. Most reports were below 0.05 of an inch. We did have some heavier amounts, again, further north of most of our fire activity, but we did see some higher humidity in some areas. Great Basin fire activity yesterday was light, with only a few new smaller fires reported across Idaho and down into Utah. Over the last 7 to 14 days, we've seen some precipitation up north, but most of this has been below normal for the time of year over the last 2 weeks, with still very dry conditions over southern and western areas of the basin. Currently, our ERCs have come down a little bit in the north, a little bit more than what we saw yesterday, just as the moisture has moved in. And we will continue to see those ERCs decline across Idaho and Wyoming and still remain high across parts of Utah into eastern and southern Nevada, where ERCs are above the 80th or 90th percentile. Looking at some of our ERC charts in the north, you can see how these ERCs have tracked down across Idaho, but are still above normal for the time of year. Further south, we are still seeing those record ERCs in southern areas of the Great Basin. Looking at our 10-hour fuel moisture, you can see that more of the response in the lighter fuels up in the northern areas. However, again, our 100 and 1,000-hour fuels are a little bit slower to respond, so we still are seeing very low fuel moisture in some of those fuels up north in areas that have not received the moisture. And then further south, fuels are critical pretty much everywhere. Looking at our satellite image from this morning, you can see that first wave of the front has moved to our east, but the second colder portion of the front will be dropping down as we move through today and tomorrow across the Great Basin, pushing that ridge further south and again bringing cooler temperatures and higher humidity along with those gusty winds. So today we have our high risk for winds over southern, central, and eastern areas of Utah up into the northern Wasatch. We still will see gusty winds across Idaho, but again, relative humidity will be elevated with also some cloud cover and eventually some showers moving in. Looking at our wind gusts, you can see the strongest wind gusts will be across Idaho into Wyoming. So our large fires up north, anywhere from the Badger Fire northward, will see those impacts from westerly to northwesterly winds gusting over 35 or 40 miles per hour. Again, even though there's higher humidity, those winds will still be a concern. Further south, these wind gusts will be closer to 30 or 35 miles per hour. However, relative humidity is certainly quite a bit drier. Looking at our forecast for showers going into tonight into Saturday, you can see the better chances of wetting rains during that time period across central Idaho and then eastern Idaho into Wyoming. Probably not much precip down near the Badger Fire or down into our fires in Utah, but certainly higher humidity for all of Idaho. On Saturday, by Saturday later in the afternoon, that moisture will be moved off to the east. We still will have gusty winds and dry conditions down south, so some high risk down across southern Utah and the Arizona Strip, impacting some of our fires down there. On Saturday, you can see again those gusty winds in the far south, probably gusting in the upper 30s to around 40 miles per hour with single-digit to low-teen RH. Further north, much higher humidity across Idaho, Wyoming, and northern Utah. However, still those breezy northwest winds. On Sunday, a ridge of high pressure starts to build off the west coast, pushing those northwesterly gusty winds over northern and eastern areas. We don't have any high risk because, again, we will see those higher humidities up north, still could have some breezy and dry conditions down south, but winds should be decreasing as we go through the day. Looking at winds on Sunday, again, still watching parts of southern and eastern Utah. We could potentially need another high risk in some of these areas that still remain on the drier side, since wind gusts will be in the 35 to 45 mile per hour range, and wind shift will be to the north across most of the Great Basin. So that wind shift will be felt on all of our fires. So anywhere on the dry side across Utah will be a concern to watch. Forecast amounts of precipitation indicated here. You can see some of those blue amounts up across where our large fires are in Idaho are above a quarter or a half inch. So we could see some decent wetting rains going into tonight into Saturday. But again, we could see some spots that stay with much less precipitation. So we'll continue to watch that, but certainly expect the increase in RH and at least some showers. On Monday, the ridge of high pressure quickly builds back into the west, so we will see warmer and drier conditions, still those northerly winds over the eastern half of the region. And then moving into Tuesday and Wednesday, again, that ridge just continues to build, warm temperatures above normal for the time of year, very dry conditions with low daytime RH and then decreasing overnight humidity recovery. And then similar conditions on Thursday. This pattern looks to continue through all of next week. Overall, the forecast amount of precipitation, again, is mainly occurring here in the next 2 days with no precipitation forecast after that for the next week. The 8 to 14 day outlook taking us through the first week of October shows warm and dry conditions for the west. So we are right now not seeing any moisture moving back into the basin until closer to October 5th or 6th. That concludes our webcast for today. Check back tomorrow for the latest updates.